A poll from Charapedia reported that there was a reader poll of 10,000 readers recommending their personal favorite overlooked anime they thought that people by and large kind of glossed over and kind of missed.
Number 30 on the list, and we'll do this really quickly, guys. The Flowers of Evil.
Ooh, goody. My favorite. I guess I'll have to fill in for Cody today and say that this show makes me vomit just watching it. It's really motion sicky.
All right, so we'll keep going in that instance. I watched a little bit of it. Not a huge fan of Flowers of Evil. Now I'm 29. Jinzo Konshu Kabuto Board VV. Nothing. Bueller?
They really should VXV.
We're getting to one, Sean. We're getting to one where I'm gonna pop, where I'm gonna mark out. We're getting to one. We're almost there.
Next 28. We'll go a little quick on this. Drifters. Nothing.
Oh yeah.
Not even Tokyo
Drifters.
Yeah.
What do you know about it, JD?
Well, I heard a lot about it, but it's more like it is kind of underrated in the mainstream anime, but I read a little bit of the manga though, so I thought it was interesting. But yeah, I think it deserves to be on the list.
All right. 27. The Big O.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Yes.
It's showtime.
This series, it made me like love and hate it because I love Batman, right? And I was like, this is like a ripoff of Batman a little bit with Mecha, you know. But then I was like, I don't care,
It's a little Batman. It's a little giant Robo. Yeah, it's got the worst ending in history, but all the way up until the final couple of minutes, it's so good. Like this for a while. This was my show.
Good endings in anime.
Yeah, same here.
None. Zero. But for a while, this was my jam. This was my show. And yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. That's a good sign. Hopefully we get that reaction from a few more of these. I doubt it though.
Some.
26 BPS Battle Programmer Shirai.
I've heard of this. That's about it. Shirai.
This sounds like something I would like.
Probably.
25.
Sounds like something you could write.
25 Jormungand.
Didn't the manga reporter do an episode on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
This is one of the series I'm waiting to get back to the States to buy because I've heard so much about it, but it's kind of like a lot of manga readers like, you know, really recommend this one sometimes. So I'm like, yes, I'm glad it's on the list. So
I watched a few episodes based off back when 2GAM reviewed it, and it has a very Black Lagoonish feel to it, but just a little bit lighter tone.
I think it's by the same team actually.
So that's one that you probably should check out. But it has a Black Lagoonish feel. So if you like Black Lagoon, you should probably check this one. You should probably check that one out. 24 Deno Coil.
Yeah, Deno Coil. This one I watched a little bit. It is a sci-fi show. It's around the concept of augmented reality. It's a pretty interesting show. I might want to go back and rewatch it, but I enjoyed it. The pacing is a little slow, even for me. But this was definitely one of my like sci-fi future tech shows. I really enjoyed it. It had a little run on the Sci-Fi Channel a couple of years ago, but I would recommend it.
23 Hybrid Child.
Also heard of this. That's about it. I hope that they get at least 30 MPG.
30 MPG.
It's a car joke. Miles per gallon.
There you go. Hey, Mr. Out of Touch here. 22, Star Driver.
It is a mech show that I thought had a good amount of crossover appeal because the art design was not done by your typical mech people. It was actually done by the team that was involved with Sailor Moon. And that is the show on this list at number 22, entitled Star Driver. This show was, I would almost say, a mech show made for yaoi fangirls, even more so than Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing was a show that was kind of commandeered by the yaoi fangirl audience, whereas Star Driver was a mech show made with that audience in mind. And it was very, very entertaining. I think it had a lot of crossover appeal. And me being the quote-unquote mech guy, that is one for everyone that says, I don't know about mech shows. It seems like they're all about the giant robots and nothing else, and I don't really like that. I think Star Driver would be one you might want to check out. I think that is a show that I see this on this list, and I'm like, yes, this is a show that was overlooked, and I want people to check this show out. And that is Star Driver at number 22.
21, Ashita no Naja.
If you can't pronounce it, it's probably...
Haven't you heard... Number 20, haven't you heard? I'm Sakamoto.
Well, now I've heard.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Know about this one. This was one of the number
JD.
one. Huh? What?
That's it, JD. Go, JD.
This one is actually one of the number one. I guess not really shonen. It's kind of more like a slice. I don't know. It's kind of between shonen and slice of life kind of thing. But it was number one on the list out of all these other manga stuff. Maybe last year or the year before in Japan. So. I thought, okay, they are definitely going to make a series out of this, at least by this year, and that's probably what's going to happen. So,
I just want to point out before we continue on the list here, AW Brawler pitching in again on the live chat. He's saying that Kokoro Connect should be on the list. If it's not, I'm just going to leave that out in the air for a second because we know what AW Brawler likes.
And if you don't, you should be watching the A3K live more often. So
And
the
not
next
Milky
one.
Mouse.
Not Milky Home. The next one we're just on happy. Number 19, Psychic Detective Yakumo.
This sounds like something I would like, so I'll probably come back to it and let you guys know.
This sounds like something that would be really, really popular.
And it's not, which is really odd.
Going on with number 18, Manga-Con to Assistant-san.
Oh, yeah, I know that one too.
That's a good one. That one's really fun and very real, which isn't something you get a lot in anime.
Yeah.
Or anything.
Number 17, one I've actually heard is not very good at all. Haibane Renmei.
I couldn't tell. I can't pronounce it or tell what it means.
Right,
number 16, Bokurano.
That sounds a little bit like little weird cousin of Boku no Pico, but I don't know.
And we're moving on to number 15, one I actually reviewed on Nanashi Anime Podcast not that long ago, Revolutionary Girl Utena. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Well, why is it on the list?
That's what I said. This isn't an overlooked show.
Because people don't like unique things. I think what this is probably recommending to the modern anime fandom, and that's something that needs to be given to them. Oh, it's old. It's more than 5 years old. It's probably not very good. It's probably ugly and stuff.
That's exactly why Lily and I wanted to talk about Utena. This show was her pick for Nanashi. It came out in 1997, I believe.
Oh my gosh, that's so long ago.
I know. Hashtag old school. But I actually thought it was okay. It was a shoujo, and that's usually not my genre of choice. But this was really, really enjoyable. I thought it was one to watch. So yeah, Revolutionary Girl at 15. Check that one out.
I actually watched the show in English and Japanese, and I was like, wow, like they really, really loved the whole candy area of shoujo during that time. So I think, yeah, Jackie, I think you hit a good point. 'Cause like some of these, I'm like, aren't these some of these like the old school ones that they've been around? It's just maybe a different form, but the new generation is just barely like grabbing hold of it because now it has an anime or a live action or something.
Number 14, GA Geijutsuka Art Design Class.
That sounds like something I'd write. Probably. Watch it be
probably make more money.
Kokoro netsu machimasu.
Number 13, Tanaka-kun wa itsumo kedaruge.
Same to you, buddy. Gee.
What did you call me?
I don't know what
Number
you just
12,
said.
and
It sounds
JD,
like you insulted
if
me.
you have the story up, or if you have the doc, please by all means help me with the pronunciation of some of these, please.
Crunchyroll. She
I'm
can't
sorry,
access
I don't.
Crunchyroll in Japan.
Oh, I can actually tell you what the next one means, and you're not going to like it, so go ahead and say it immediately.
Inu Marudashi, number 12.
Marudashi means to streak, and Inu is dog. Do the fucking math.
Ooh, that sounds awful.
That sounds like
We'll
the
give that
best thing ever.
We'll give that one to Cody. We'll let Cody check that one out. Sean, what do you say?
But it also might
I think we can put that one in the Cody pile.
What were you saying, JD?
Marudashi? Marudashi Inu? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Inu Marudashi.
Inu Marudashi. Inu Marudashi. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe it means a dog that chases its own tail.
Oh, still doesn't sound very good.
Number 11, F, A Tale of Memories.
And that's spelled E-F.
Same to you, buddy.
I would imagine this show is probably graded an F, from what it sounds like.
An F for fantastic.
An F for,
Haha! That's why they pay Sean the big bucks, guys.
an F
Number
for
10, Kaleido Star.
From the
And
look
oh
of
my,
this picture,
oh my God, the picture for this show. Sean, if you could
picture.
share your screen out,
the picture
and
for this.
get the fine folks at home.
I've actually heard a lot of good things about this show.
Before
Okay.
you do, when you're sharing this, I want to just describe this for the viewers as the resident artiste. I'm allowed to say that. Cody's not here. He's far better than I ever will be. Let's just go ahead and say, Kaleido Star, this image looks extremely like somebody's fan portrait of what Madoka turns into at the end of Madoka Magica, with some Steven Universe fan characters that are a couple in the front line. So all kinds of good.
It looks like a villain from the first season of Sailor Moon.
That too.
I will
Oh,
say,
yes.
guys, just to bring up Star Driver again, number 22, there's a little bit of this in Star Driver, and it's amazing.
It looks like a good jolly time. It also looks like, oh dear me, and a good sense of everything else.
It looks like
It's like-
something I won't watch.
It's like a hint. This looks like
Number 9, Cute High Earth Defense Club. Love!
magical boys,
I-
everybody.
I
They stole my
love
idea.
this.
They stole
I
my
love
idea.
Well, what was your idea, Jack? Tell us.
My idea was, riding on the success of Black Butler, I was going to create a really parodic show of yaoi and pretty boys and things like that, and have all these guys dressed up in sequin tuxes going to a school specially made to make them butlers, where they have to fight the zombie apocalypse in the most gory, disingenuous way possible, which means sparkly effects and actual bloody carnage. So they will be stabbing instead of just things explode. Kind of like Lollipop Chainsaw meets Black Butler plus lame pants. And they stole it.
So, is this a show you want to make, or is that what Cute High Earth Defense Club Love is?
That was my first. Both.
That was that.
That was my first. That was my first concept for a webcomic. It's terrible though because the art was terrible, and there's none of it online. So good luck, gentlemen.
So, Jack, let me take all of your hopes and dreams away and move on to number 8 and say The Daily Lives of High School Boys at number 8. And, well, the photo from this show, it really speaks for itself. The young lady who might be the protagonist has a very evil, menacing look on her face while she's bent over
And breathing
in
heavily.
her school uniform. In her
She
school
looks-
uniform, and two gentlemen behind her are looking rather incredulous.
She looks a little bit like me, and that is the complete opposite of something I would do, especially in the sense of something named Daily Lives of High School Boys.
That's at Jack D. Tyler D on Twitter, everybody.
This bottle's almost empty. I might have to leave.
No,
Go to
no.
sleep.
I stayed through last week. You're staying through this. You're staying to the end. By the way, as we're rotating through on the schedule, I think JD next week it's your turn to be drunk on the podcast. I'm pretty sure it's your turn next week.
We'll see because I'm still mourning here, and I can't drive if I drink. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, dear.
There's absolutely no drinking tolerance here. So if you drink anything or eat anything with alcohol and they pull you over, you can lose your job.
Wow. Never mind.
I'm
So
not
unless
sure
it's
if
a different
this is-
time, then sure. But I'm not really a drinker. Actually, I don't drink.
Just another way Japan is ruining our fun. Just another way.
There's a couple of interesting comments that are being floated around on the chat. AW Brawler mentioned, I'm not sure if this was for Kaleido Star or if this was for Cute High Earth Defense Love, but I'm going to think it's for the latter. Oh, that looks mad sexy. Gotta watch it now. Meanwhile, Dean the Adequate saying that I believe this is also for Cute High Defense Earth Love. I'm probably going to get really mixed up now. It's interesting. There's a few magical elements, but it's about relationship building and learning how people perform in fancy circuses like Cirque du Soleil.
Number 7, and please, somebody help me with this one.
Shobakuretsu Ichigen Menko Battle.
Ichigen Menko Battle.
Gigante Shooter
If I
Tsukasa.
could see it.
It's actually up on the screen, JD.
That's going to be me in 20 minutes.
Oh, here you go. Wait, go. It's like bouncing around. Hold on here. Chobakuretsu Ichigen Menko Battle. Menko Battle. Giant Shooter Tsukasa. Wow. I know what this is from, though, actually. There's these things here. They're like all these blocky looking characters, and they're really kind of popular actually. And now they have this anime for it too. It looks ridiculous though, but I might watch it. I just want to see what they do.
Very close.
It definitely looks like it could be entertaining, so I'm definitely intrigued.
Pants
It looks like it could be entertaining.
Right.
Number 6, one that I'm actually a big fan of. I enjoyed Fractal. A really great animation style in this one. I really liked the story. This is one that I would definitely recommend checking out. It had a little... Did it have a run on the Sci-Fi Channel? I think it did for a little bit. When Sci-Fi did anime for a little while, and I caught it then. And it was a really... interesting show. Very strange concepts, but it ended up being really good.
It's a little Truman Showy, isn't it? Or something like that?
It is. It's a little Truman Showy, it's a little post-apocalyptic, and it's got some interesting math concepts. I'd have to rewatch it because it was about 2 years ago or so, but I really enjoyed the show start to finish. It's 13 episodes, I believe I recall, and yeah, it's on this list of overlooked, and I'm not too surprised. It's not like Baccano, where I thought everyone knew about Baccano, or I thought everyone knew about Big O. But I would say that if this could be considered overlooked, I second this list and say this is one to check out.
Mm-hmm.
Sean?
You imagine if like an anime is named Fractal, people are going to skip over it because that just sounds generic.
And I know
Or Mappy.
Funimation released this too, so I'm thinking it should be available on the Funimation channel if you guys want to check it out.
And it looks good, so you get my approval. I won't yell at you if you watch this because it looks pretty.
Number 5 actually had a run on Adult Swim, so again, I'm surprised people would say it's overlooked. Scried, or as I've heard some people call it, Scarido.
I've heard some people call it Scredo.
I call it Scarido because that's
It's
funny.
anime's answer to the X-Men.
When it comes to this show, I watched it. It is kind of a rival shonen where dudes have special powers in their arms. Me personally, just David speaking for himself, it was not the greatest watch. I guess some people might say it's a little underrated. You can check it out. Me personally, not so much. Sean,
In the chat, we actually have some people chiming in. Dean the Adequate, who's also part of the A3K network, he writes, Skrido was aight. And AW Brawler, that was one of my first anime, and it's so underrated. So
yeah, okay. I can back down when it comes to Scride. I didn't exactly hate it. I just didn't think it was that great. So
this next one looks like a doozy. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah, number 4, Gakuen Utopia Manabi Straight, and the photo alone is 5 young schoolgirls in their uniforms, all doing the Black Panther pose like they're at the 1972 Olympics. So I'm already interested.
I'm sorry I got in a fight and ruined your kawaii as fuck party.
I have to admit, I'm kind of interested in this, just by the fact that they're all showing the fist. All alone, and not in the way that you usually see schoolgirls showing a fist in anime, but they seem to be showing some kind of solidarity.
Isn't this anime about studying or something? Because it literally means school utopia learning straight.
That kind of sounds awesome. I love the idea of maybe this is like a super intense, over-the-top shonen where studying gives you power! I'm gonna study math for 4 hours!
Damn, I wish I could do that.
If they're
I'm sorry, I could only study for 2.5.
Math can
do my limit. Math.
Pythagorean
theorem.
I have to say though, if they're supposed to be high school girls or even middle school girls, this art style makes them look thick as fuck. I apologize. No, I don't. Sorry, not sorry. Hashtag it. Put that in the chat. Sorry, not sorry. Jack, A3K 2014. That is important, though. Girls is thick.
All right, we're getting down to our final 3.
Number 3, Corpse Party.
Yes. Is this an anime? I've only played the games.
Oh, look, it's Korra from Soul Eater. Krona. What is her name?
Krona.
Krona. It's Krona from...
That looks nothing like Krona, boy. What you talking about?
Yes, it does. Look, the neck thing. Has a neck thing. Take off the ponytail. Come on, chat.
Look, it's Krona. Look, it's Krona, guys. I'm cosplaying Krona right now.
Come on, chat. Does anybody agree with me in the chat? That looks a little like Krona.
The expression's similar. The expression's similar, but that's because Krona is crying all the time. But I love Krona, so I'm not going to call him a whiny bitch. But Corpse Party is a fun PSP game. It's actually still available on the PlayStation Network, and its sequel, which has an interesting kind of Alone in the Dark type of a sanity thing, where depending on what choices you make, it affects the interface and fucks it up, and you're just sitting there in the middle of this visual novel going, what? And really nice retro kind of RPG feel while you're roaming around it, because, characters will follow you, and then, of course, it takes you for a loop, and then the next thing you know, you found them that they hung themselves the moment that you turned away and they weren't following you. So I recommend giving it a play. I don't know if it's actually an anime. This looks like a portrait from a manga. Maybe it's a manga instead, but I don't know why that would be on here. I don't know.
Okay. Number 2. Number 2. While Jack attempts to recover. Number 2. A show that is clearly named after my safe word. Kill Me Baby.
Actually, this anime, from watching a few episodes on iTunes, is kind of fun. It's done mostly in this kind of chibi style, and it's about the middle girl is a mafia, a member of the mafia, and she is constantly trying to fulfill her obligations as an assassin. And I believe the girl on the left, it's been a while since I watched it, is basically a friend. It's kind of like if anyone's seen the Nick show Making Themes, where the one girl, Vendetta, was always making creatures and wanted to get the fuck rid of her, and Charlotte's basically super, oh my gosh, I want to be friends with you the whole time. Let's really learn and grow closer as a community and friends. You want to make fiends? Well, I want to make friends. This is basically the Japanese equivalent of it. It's done in a very cutesy art style as well. And if you haven't seen Making Fiends on Nickelodeon, please go do yourself a favor. Watch it on YouTube. That's a cute and disturbingly messed up kind of a show. I'm done.
And then finally,
You better hang in there, Jack. I went through the entire show last week. You're not going anywhere. Last but not least, once again, Baccano, which once again, I'm surprised to see this show described as overlooked. I was of the impression that Baccano was pretty popular.
Yeah, same here.
I think it's critically praised, but I don't think it's popular, and I think that's the problem with the world. I think everyone who's seen Baccano screams its praises, but not enough people have come across and watched it.
I suppose so, because I watched it. I thought it was really good, and most anime circles that I run around, I know at least a couple of people that rave about Baccano. So I've always been under the impression that Baccano was pretty well recognized. But hey, Japan.
And it's from the same writer as Durarara. So
Yeah.
for those of you who may
Again.
only know Durarara, this is the series that came out before it, and they're not linked, but it's a far superior series. So if you like Durarara, watch
Sean?
Baccano.
Sean,
Yes.
are you English because you're ending things that should end in A with an R? Princess Diana. I'm sorry, I'm really amused. Durarara. Oh, yes, I couldn't possibly.
Okay, I don't.
You realize in Japan they say the R's like L's, right?
Dularara.
Does this mean that an English person who has lived in Japan would eventually start saying Princess Diana or Dulalalal? That's what it
Yeah.
sounds like they're saying. This is very interesting. I must think about this further. This is entirely fascinating, and it will probably cease to be in a few hours.